The oil industry has a problem that it can't get rid of. The tech industry has a problem it can't solve. And the answer might be sitting right in the middle of West Texas. Today, you're going to learn why data centers are so thirsty and why oil wells produce more water than oil, and how one industry's trash could become another's treasure. Let's break it down. I'm Mark Roach, petroleum engineer, deal maker, 30 years in the energy business. This is FutureWise Energy. Here's what most people don't realize. Data centers, well, the buildings that power your Google searches and your Netflix, your AI chatbots, well, they run incredibly hot. Thousands of computer chips running 24/7 generate massive amounts of heat. And the main way to cool them? Water. Lots of it. I'm told that a single mid-sized data center drinks about 2 million liters of water every single day. Now, I've had some other comments around that as I've done this research. 100 megawatt AI data center can use approximately 2 million liters a day. However, the typical average data centers use much less. Like 150 megawatt facility reports that they use only 130,000 liters a day. That's about a million gallons a month. So bear with me there, but it's a lot of water that's needed to cool these. And that's roughly the same amount that the 2 million liters is about what 6,500 households use all combined. So maybe picture a small town's worth of water that just keeps these servers from melting. So they're competing to use this water for data centers rather than for letting it flow into the public the way it had been. And it gets even more interesting. Out in the Permian Basin, that massive oil field stretches across West Texas and New Mexico, and they're pulling oil out of the ground at record pace. But what a lot of people don't talk about is that for every barrel that you pull out of the Permian, you get several barrels of water. And this isn't fresh water, it's ancient, salty water, and some of it's been trapped underground for a long time, and we call it produced water. And the Permian alone generates 33 million barrels of this wastewater every single day. And that's an ocean of dirty water that has to go somewhere. And traditionally, companies pump this water back underground into disposal wells. And the problem is that all that injection has started causing earthquakes, not tiny tremors, real earthquakes that damage homes and rattle communities. Texas regulators are cracking down. Disposal, well, it's getting harder and more expensive. So the oil industry has too much water that it just can't get rid of. And the tech industry doesn't have enough water to keep cooling their data centers. So you see where this is going. Treated produced water can cool data centers. After running it through filters and desalination systems, this water becomes industrial grade cooling water. And suddenly everybody wins. Oil companies turn a liability into a revenue stream. Data centers get water without competing with cities and farms for fresh water. And local communities see fewer earthquakes from disposal wells, plus new high-tech jobs. This is why West Texas has become a magnet for data centers. Think about it. You got natural gas right at the fence line, so you can generate power on site instead of waiting years to connect to the grid. You've got cheap, flat land for massive facilities, and you've got a surplus of water that doesn't compete with drinking water supplies. And you've got regulators that are eager to diversify beyond oil. Chevron just announced a 2.5 to 5 gigawatt power complex in West Texas specifically to serve data centers with operations starting in 2027. They've explicitly said cooling data centers is one use of their desalinized water that's produced from the Permian. Now, I have to be honest about the challenges. The water is salty. We're talking 10 to 100 times saltier than seawater. Cleaning it does take energy, and lots of it. To treat all the Permian's wastewater, you'd need about 26 gigawatts of power, and that's a massive investment. But pilot projects are running now. Texas Pacific Water Resources is building a 10,000 barrel per day test facility. Multiple data centers have already set up shop in the Permian, and some companies are even exploring nuclear-powered desalination to make the economics work. But here's what I want you to take away. The energy transition isn't just about swapping one fuel for another. It's about finding connections that maybe nobody expected or planned on. 100 years ago, produced water was just a nuisance. Today, it might be the key to building America's AI infrastructure in the middle of oil country. That's not irony, that's innovation. I'm Mark Roach. This is FutureWise Energy. Let's talk again soon.